What's up, my crypto legends? In this episode, we're taking a look at Bitcoin, and I'm going to show you how Bitcoin can slightly dip below to $55 or maybe $54,000, okay? Being the ultimate bottom just by looking at this chart over here, because we are forming this extremely bullish pattern, which is a descending wedge. And with the RSI, I'm going to show you that we are potentially hitting almost the ultimate low bottom before we continue to the upside. As you can see on this chart, we are in a massive uptrend, so the trend is your friend, as you know. Now we're going to take a look at Ethereum also, because Ethereum is looking very bullish, but we could see some volatility to the downside before we continue breaking all-time highs in the coming weeks. And also Polkadot getting ready for an explosive breakout, which is very, very likely going to be to the upside, and I'll show you why in this episode. Hello there, Andy here. Welcome back to another episode of Bitcoinsensus. New to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Daily TA on Bitcoin, crypto, and I also do live streams to connect with the community. Not financial advisor. Don't buy or sell anything that I say. Now, guys, zooming in here, I want to keep this episode really simple, all right? Because, you know, the Bitcoin price is looking extremely bullish while we are going inside of this, you know, the end of this kind of descending wedge. As you can see here, we are creating slightly lower lows, all right? Now, I want to show you some similarities that they are here from back in September when we did create this descending wedge and finally broke out here, and we saw October, okay, where October was having a massive run up here, reaching all the way here $69,000, okay, by the beginning of November. Now, just want to show you here the slightly lower lows that we are creating, okay? So this is already going to be a base. This is already going to be a very strong support. We have connected here also the lower highs that we've created from the 69k levels. And if you connect these trend lines, you know, we are already forming this kind of descending wedge, which is an extremely bullish pattern, and especially when you're coming from a very, very strong uptrend. So this is something that we are going to pay attention here in the next coming days, because I think that we've only got days left to see a potential explosive breakout, and I think it's going to be to the upside. But we could come back down and retest the support level, which would be around about that $55 or even $54,000, or probably just go sideways around about that $56,000 range. And I'm going to explain why, because just by looking at the kind of price action that happens when you have a sell-off, and in this case, back in September, we were slightly creating these higher highs, as you can see. So very similar price action that we were creating right over here. We did have a little bit of more space here in between this high and this high, okay? You can see this kind of round formation right over there before we actually had that sell-off. Now, this sell-off was much higher. This was around about a 20% drop, okay, here on BTC. If we go from the highs to the lows, it was, yeah, almost a 20% drop. Now, if we see this drop over here, it wasn't even 10%, but it was still a pretty high drop, right? We went from 69k all the way to 63k approximately, and that was already about an 8% drop. Now, after that 8% drop, what we did here, zooming in on the chart, is a little consolidation, a little run up, hitting that golden pocket from this drop to have the second drop, which was slightly larger than the first drop, right? So very similar price action, not the same movements, but similar. When you reach the high, you have one drop, you go sideways, you have that retracement, that relief rally to the golden pocket range, 50, 62% levels. Then you have the second drop, okay, going much lower than the first drop. So very similar scenario that happened right over here. Now, what happened back in September is that we actually consolidated. You know, we had a relief rally, came back down, almost retested the lows again, consolidated here, creating a kind of, you know, descending triangle, symmetrical triangle, before we actually broke to the upside. And this is when we had this excellent run up for BTC. I think that now we are printing something very, very similar. And if you take a look at the RSI here, we are at the oversold territory, as you can see. And, you know, we might be having, you know, that kind of relief rally very, very soon now on BTC, as you can see. And I think that we could potentially go sideways slightly to the downside here on the price action, something very, very similar that what happened right over there. As you can see, the RSI is picking up here, going to the 40, 50 levels. And as you can see, the price action was just going sideways. So something very, very similar here before we start seeing BTC having an excellent run up in the next coming days. So this is the kind of thing that I'm expecting for BTC just by looking at the price action and the RSI and this descending wedge. So if I zoom in here on BTC, we can clearly see that we are retesting this major support level. So the worst case scenario, in my opinion, would be coming down and hitting that $55 or even $54,000 in the next coming days, getting massively supported sideways action here. So if this happens, this is the moment that we want to be becoming extremely bullish for BTC, because if we do break the support here on the next attempt, it's not going to be looking good, guys. We want to become extremely bullish as soon as we are forming sideways action, okay, in the next coming days. If we start printing here these lows or slightly higher lows, this is the moment you want to anticipate that this is very likely going to break resistance, and you want to step in a potential long trade, okay? Now, this is what I got for BTC, okay? Stay cautious. We want to see that sideways action, because you don't want to drop here, get in a long, and then the price action is going to make much lower levels, breaking the major support range. What you want to see is consolidation, sideways action here for the next coming days. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. We'll be paying close attention for this potential scenario. Remember, for the traders out there, Femex has got an insane bonus going on at the moment. $4,100 worth of bonus to be claimed on Femex depending on what you deposit. PrimeXBT is my favorite day trading platform. You get 50% added to your deposit with my link and Bitcoinsensus 50 as the promotion code. Let's take a look at Ethereum, because Ethereum is looking pretty bullish in my opinion. We're just having that nice consolidation. Sorry, from that retracement, we're having that relief rally, and there is a possibility that this is going to be a kind of an ABC correction, but we're not going to go much lower than the $4,000, $3,800 range, because there is an insane amount of support at those levels. Now, if this happens, this is going to be a great buying opportunity in my opinion. The reason why is because $4,000, we had a huge resistance peak right over there, also right over here, turning into heavy support. We have bounced 3 times here as support already. So there is a possibility where you're going to see a dead cat bounce here, come back down, retest this range, and not successfully breaking the lows, potentially creating a descending wedge here also. All right, this is something that we're going to pay attention in the next coming days. Now, what would be the most bullish case scenario would be already, breaking here the 50% levels or even the golden pocket range and going to the all-time highs here for Ethereum in the next day or two. This is very unlikely in my opinion. We do have very strong volume to the downside, so stay cautious. I know we are just about breaking the resistance, but I see this possibly being a fake out. All right, there's not too much volume. It is the weekend. Check out how the volume is going lower and lower on this retracement, guys. We know the deal. We need to pay attention on the volume. If we do see the break of an uptrend, okay, with volume, you know the deal, guys. We are changing the trend here in the immediate short term, so stay very cautious here. Whoever's longing Ethereum, we could see slightly volatility to the downside because the volume is telling us that the bears have slightly control here after breaking this massive uptrend. So stay very cautious here for long positions. We want to stay defensive. All right, now there is a possibility that you could start going into long positions while we're scaling down. I wouldn't just yet, because the price action is it looks like that we are going to see slightly lower levels here for the next coming days before we actually shoot to the upside, because I do believe that this is going to be a kind of an ABC correction, the C correction failing here to dip to much lower levels and then finally breaking to much higher levels here in the next 3-4 days. Approximately, in my opinion. Now, also, what are the resistance? We've got the resistance here from the lower highs, as you can see here from this trend line of the lower highs. This is where we are crossing with the higher lows, as you can see here on the chart. If we do hit those levels, we are going to get insane support from the higher lows and also from the lower high resistance. This is where we exactly crossing at the 29th of November. So that is just a few days away, as you can see here on the chart. So there is a possibility that you might be getting a great buying opportunity if we do hit those levels, as you can see here on the chart. Now, there is a possibility that $4,000 is going to be the ultimate low. We are going to come back down, maybe retest it, or maybe we're not even going to come down and retest it. But if we do start retesting the $4,000, $3,800 range, this is the moment, guys, in that retracement, when there's blood in the streets, you want to anticipate that you are going to break here potentially to the upside in the next coming days. Okay, guys, this is what I got for Ethereum. Let's take a look at Polkadot, because Polkadot is looking very, very nice. As you can see on this chart, we didn't manage to successfully break here from the highs. We broke up, then came back down. But because Polkadot went pretty parabolic, okay, in the month in October, as you can see, and then had an excellent run up here, hitting the highs. Now we're just having that nice correction at the 50, even 62% levels here of the Fibonacci retracement from the ultimate low to the high. You can clearly see that we are just about hitting here that $38 range, which would be the golden pocket, as you can see right over there. So we might see a little bit of volatility just at that $38-40 range for the next day or two, and then I think that we are going to have an excellent run up to the upside. Okay, so stay cautious with volatility. We can even dip to 37, 36. Okay, so be careful here, but this should be a very, very strong fake out area. Got a lot of resistance here turning into support. As you can see, we got the higher lows, major support range here also from this trend line, and it is a major level. Looking at the past price action, a lot of consolidation and support level here around this area. This is the $38-40 range. So if we do see slightly volatility to the downside, it is going to be a great buying opportunity here before we actually start pumping here for Polkadot in the next coming weeks, guys. This is what I got for this crypto, guys. Make sure to smash up the like button and check out the Bitcoinsensus website. We've got the all sorts here. The link is down below in the description. The latest news, technical analysis. If you want to learn how to trade on Prime XBT and Bybit, full tutorial on the screen. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.